Way, Kelley.
Ethan, am I running? I'm not running for St. Marcus.
Not right now, are you? He thought of you. Oh, and also, he's running for a spot on the San Marcos City Council. So here is Way Kelley.
Thank you, Ethan Hyatt. Hello, and welcome to my TV show on the YouTube network with a potential audience of over 2 billion people.
Oh, that is right. 2 billion.
Coming to you live from the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, where I am peacefully protesting and advocating for the homeless here in Santa Monica and in Los Angeles County and in California and the whole U.S. of A. The whole wide world, if we could do something about it. But we have to start somewhere, so we might as well start right here in Santa Monica, California, where they have been treating poor people and homeless people terribly for generations. That's right. They've been criminalizing poverty for quite a while now here in Santa Monica, and we need to stand up and say, no, that's not the way to end homelessness, to end poverty and this housing crisis. The way to end this housing crisis and this homelessness crisis is to build more affordable housing and to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica, California. We don't need to criminalize poverty and homelessness and treat poor people like they are criminals. We need to stand up and speak out for human rights. We need to stand up for human rights and tell everybody that you have a right, you belong. You belong right here in the United States of America. If you are here, you belong, and we need to make sure that everybody has the same rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all, because we haven't gotten there yet. We got to keep working towards a better day for everybody. We got to keep standing up for everybody's rights to be themselves. Everybody's right to be themselves, whoever they want to be, as long as they're not hurting anybody else. We need to stand up for everybody's rights to be themselves and celebrate themselves. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate love and life. Let's celebrate every day that we can stay away from war and strife. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Hey! Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate all the different ways we can see the world. Let's celebrate all our lovely boys and girls. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Yeah, let's celebrate love. Oh, we got to keep celebrating love. We got to keep standing up for everybody's right to be themselves and to explore their destiny, for everybody to chart their own destiny in this United States of America, as long as they're not hurting anybody else. And if they're speaking out for hate, we need to shout them down. We need to stand up. We need to stand up against hatred and racism whenever we see it, whenever we hear it. And keep standing up for everybody's rights to pursue their happiness here in the United States of America. Because we haven't gotten there yet. We got to keep working on it. We got to keep working towards a better day for everybody. That's right. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate all the different ways we can see the world. Let's celebrate all our lovely boys and girls. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. One more time, everybody sing along and dance along and stand up for love and celebration. And everybody's right to be themselves. That's how we do it here in the United States of America. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways that we can be. Let's celebrate love and life. Let's celebrate every day that we can stay away from war and strife. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. Ha, ha. Woo. That's right. We got to keep celebrating as we are working towards a better day for everybody, as we are working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. We need to celebrate that we can do that right here in the United States of America. We need to celebrate that we can express our First Amendment rights, exercise our First Amendment rights, and stand up for the rights of everyone to be themselves. As it says in the First Amendment of our Constitution, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And that's what I'm doing here tonight. I'm peacefully protesting and advocating for a better life for the people that are sleeping in the streets in this country. People that are sleeping in the streets right here in this fourth largest economy of all, the whole wide world, California. People who are sleeping in the streets of this very wealthy city of Santa Monica. And they are being criminalized. They're being criminalized for sleeping in the streets. That's a shame. That's not the way it should be in this richest, most powerful country in the world. We live in the land of milk and honey. There is plenty. No reason for poor people to be sleeping in the streets. That's why we need to, right here in California, we need to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Yeah, see what that Billionaire Tax Act is, Mike? It's a 5% wealth tax on all of the billionaires in California. And that's going to be on the ballot this fall in November. Now, we got to get anybody who's running for governor to get behind that Billionaire Tax Act and raise taxes on the billionaires. We got to raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich. Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Huh? Let's see. How much should we raise taxes on the billionaires and the rich people? Let's think about that. Well, if poor people are sleeping in the streets, then rich people aren't paying enough taxes. We need to revisit that business model. If we have rich people having space races while poor people are sleeping in the streets, then we need to raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich. And we need to make sure we use that money to build affordable housing and to make sure that everybody can have a decent life here in this fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, California. And what? Well, we keep raising taxes until poor people don't have to sleep in the street anymore. That's what I think. We keep raising taxes until every child can have a good public education. That's what I think. We keep raising taxes on the rich until everybody can have good quality health care. Because the rich people aren't hurting. They're doing better than ever. The rich people in this country are doing better than ever in the history of this world. We've got about 3 people owning most of the wealth here in the United States of America. And we don't need to settle for that because this is a democracy and we need to keep working to make sure that everybody has equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity. And if the rich people have all the power, that's kind of an oligarchy. That means when all the rich people run everything, and we don't have to let them run everything in this country. That's why I am a poor man, and I am a homeless human being. I have friends I can stay. I have rich friends, I know. That's right. I don't really count, but I am a poor senior living on a fixed income, and I stay with friends, but I am a homeless human being, and I am running for Santa Monica City Council just to show homeless people and poor people you can get involved. You can get involved in your democracy. You can speak up. You can stand up for the rights of those people their rights are being abused. My name is Wade Kelley, and I'm running for Santa Monica City Council to stand up for human rights. That's right. Because there are too many people being arrested for sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. They asked me, hey, what you in jail for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. People say, you must have done a little bit more. I said, no, I'm just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. And the police, they came and took me. They came and said, hey, you got to get moving there. If you don't move out of that park, we're going to have to arrest you for sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. People say, well, you must have done a little bit more. I said I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. People ask me, hey, what are you in jail for? I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. The judge, he asked me, what you here for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Now the rich man, he can sleep on the grass, but the poor folks better move your ass because they'll take you down to the prison gates and you won't be able to escape that. No, because you'd be sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Still working on this song. It's coming along. It's coming along. It's got a little ways to go, but you get the idea. We have poor people being arrested here in Santa Monica because they're sleeping outdoors while being poor. I sometimes you see people walking down the street and they got a blanket. They're about to commit a crime. Those poor people that have blankets, they can be arrested for sleeping outdoor with just a blanket and a pillow, or even less. That's right. They can be given a citation, and then if they don't show up to court for that citation, they can be arrested. Some of them are arrested right away just for sleeping outdoor while being poor. But usually they follow up. They've got different programs they try to get people in. They got this Samo Bridge program. They put 462 people through this Samo Bridge program where they would take homeless people in there to their trailer and keep them for up to 72 hours. And they would say, listen, we got to help you. We got to put you into one of our programs. And they put people into, I met a young man, and he wrote all about this. He was just looking for a shelter bed, but we don't have any shelter beds here in Santa Monica. Tonight, if you are homeless, you cannot find a shelter bed in Santa Monica, but they can arrest you for sleeping outdoors while being poor. But anyway, this young man, he said he asked the police where he could. They told him he couldn't sleep in the park, and he asked them if they had any shelter beds, and they sent him over to this Samo Bridge program over here in the Civic Center parking lot. And they kept him there for a day, and they said, we're going to sign you up to go to this program. And it was a drug rehab program, and the guy didn't have a drug problem. He just wanted a shelter bed. He just wanted a shelter bed here in Santa Monica, but they didn't have any shelter beds available. Right now, we got about 200 shelter beds in Santa Monica, and they are all filled tonight. You cannot find a shelter bed anywhere in Santa Monica tonight. As a matter of fact, the new city council, they want to send more of our shelter beds, close down the Samo Shell Shelter, and lease shelter beds in the city of Bell. They want to close down one of the only shelters we have in Santa Monica, and they want to lease shelter beds in the city of Bell, a poorer, more ethnically diverse, lower income, more densely populated city. They want to have more shelter beds over there instead of offering any shelter beds here in Santa Monica. They say, well, these homeless human beings, they're all from somewhere else. I asked the director of Housing and Human Services here in Santa Monica, well, how many homeless human beings is Santa Monica responsible for? Everybody says, oh, they all come from somewhere else. Santa Monica shouldn't have to be responsible for these homeless human beings. And I said to the Housing and Human Services director, I said, how many should Santa Monica be responsible for? And she said, well, we're still trying to figure that out. You know, Santa Monica has no problem being responsible and taking credit for all of its rich residents. Now they're fine. Oh, yeah, those rich residents, they're Santa Monicans. But the poor homeless people, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Oh, we're not responsible for them. They come from somewhere else. And so they get arrested. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. They asked me what I was in jail for. I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. They said, hey, you must have done a little bit more. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. You must have done a little bit more. No, I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. I was sleeping outdoor while being poor. Well, the judge, he asked me, what are you in court for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. 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 Other people, they said I must have done something more, but I was just sleeping outdoor while being poor. 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 Well, I keep working at that one. But that's right. That's what's happening here in Santa Monica. They are arresting poor people for being poor and homeless and sleeping outdoors with a blanket or a pillow. They call that public camping. Good luck. Anyway, so we got to keep speaking out for human rights because we haven't gotten to a place yet where everybody has equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity. We got to keep saying, hey, we can do better. We can do better standing up for the human rights of those people that don't have a lot of money. We can make sure that everybody can have the basics. We can make sure that everybody can have the basics. This is the richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world. We can make sure that everybody can have a decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education. You know, right here in California, we need to spend a lot more money on public education. We are ranked about 30th in this country of spending on public education. That's right. We're the 4th largest economy, and we're ranked around 30th in spending on public education. We're ranked down around the bottom, around 40th or lower in the outcome of our public education. So we need to keep spending much more money on education, public education, than because you spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. Spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. Spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. That's right. We spend about $130,000 per year on each incarcerated individual, and we spend about $20,000 on each student, on each public school student. So that shows you where the balance is there. We need to spend a lot more money on educating young people, making sure everybody gets a good public education, so we don't have to incarcerate so many people. Spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. That's a pretty simple thing. We need to keep spending money on the basics for human beings, and then we probably won't have to spend so much on incarcerating people and trying to fix problems later on in life. If you spend enough on a family when the kids are younger and make sure that every child can have a good public education and that everybody can feel a part of our democracy, a part of our society, that's going to help them. No, he had a very good education. He probably had his parents helping to make sure he had a good education. We need to keep spending more money. Every child should be able to have a good public education. It's like Roosevelt said in 1944. The great president Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave a speech called "The Second Bill of Rights." Well, see, people need money because it costs money to have a decent place to live. We should make sure that everybody can have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the world. See, I've been around a little bit too. Thank you, sir. But anyway, my point is that in 1944, the great president Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave a speech called "The Second Bill of Rights." That's right. In 1944, he gave a speech called "The Second Bill of Rights." He said, "It is time for a second Bill of Rights, where every American has the right to a decent place to live. Every American has the right to a job that pays a living wage. Every American has the
fire you.
What?
When you're good, just fire you.
Yeah, when you're good, they fire you, and that's not the way it should be. That's right. Everybody should be able to survive. You are right, Mike. And we need to keep standing up for the rights of every worker to have a decent job, even as we move further into this technological age where more and more of the jobs are going to be going to robots and artificial intelligentsia, we need to stand up for the rights of human beings to have the basics. That's right. We might have to have a basic income in this country if the robots are doing most of the jobs, and let human beings spend their time working on some other endeavor that they enjoy. Not everybody is going to need to work. We saw that during the pandemic. A lot of us just weren't essential. So we need to make sure that human beings can survive even when our work is not essential. Some people don't. Some people think that my work isn't essential right here. I don't understand what they're thinking, but some people think that I shouldn't be out here on the promenade peacefully protesting and advocating for the homeless right here and playing music. They think, oh, what are you doing? You should do something else. No, I'm standing up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. And I am running for Santa Monica City Council this fall to stand up for human rights. Because we got to keep moving forward because we haven't gotten there yet. We got to keep working towards a better day where everybody can have the basics, a decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and a good public education. We got to keep stepping up, keep working towards a better day. And don't get lost in the sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, of a week, of a month, or a year. Our struggle is the struggle of a lifetime. Never ever be afraid to make some noise, to get in some good trouble, some necessary trouble. That's what John Lewis said. That's right. That was John Lewis. And he knew about peaceful protesting and standing up and getting in some good trouble. And he suffered a lot because of his peaceful protest and working towards a better day for everybody, working towards civil rights with Martin Luther King Jr. and all of those people in the civil rights movement. And they made good, positive change in this country. And we got to keep moving that forward. Because we don't want to go backwards, do we? We want to keep moving forward, standing up for the rights of every human being. And we got to keep celebrating it. You know what I mean? I got to keep enjoying it. You know, I'm running for Santa Monica City Council, and yesterday I was reading I'm filling out a questionnaire for the Santa Monica Democratic Club. And they sent me a questionnaire, and they said in it, have you read the California Democratic platform? And I said, well, not lately. So I read the whole thing. I read the whole California Democratic platform, and hey, I agreed with most of it. But what I wanted to ask that Santa Monica Democratic Club was, you endorsed this Santa Monica City Council that is in power right now. You endorsed a lot of these people on this Santa Monica City Council. Why haven't you spoken out against their human rights abuses? Why haven't you spoken out against them arresting people for being poor and homeless, and for arresting people for sleeping in public places because they don't have a decent place to live or a decent place to sleep, and because we don't have enough shelter beds right here in Santa Monica? Why don't you speak out against those things, Santa Monica Democratic Club? I would like your endorsement, but I would rather you stand up for what's right so we're not in this situation anymore. But I'll keep speaking out, and hopefully we can all move forward. Keep on getting up. Keep on speaking out. Keep on singing it's all about. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. Keep on lifting up. Don't get lost in the sea of despair. We can't solve every problem, but we can try to be right there and dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. Let's try that verse again. Keep on lifting up. Keep on, lend a helping hand. We can't solve every problem, but we can try to understand. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. Don't get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic, and you know someday we'll get there. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. We got to keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. Because that's where we're supposed to be heading in this country. That's what our Constitution is all about. Working towards a more perfect union, establishing justice, ensuring domestic tranquility, providing for the common defense, promoting the general welfare, and securing the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. We're talking about making things better for everybody. You know, when that Constitution was first written back in 1787, 1787, that's right. It only benefited rich white guys who owned property. That's how it was in 1787. But since the beginning of this country, there have been those working to make things better for everybody, working to make our Constitution more inclusive, to make sure that everybody has equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. And we haven't gotten there yet, so we got to keep working towards that. We've overcome a lot in this country in our 250 years, but we got to keep moving forward. Don't let anybody tell you we already got there. We're already past racism. We don't have any more racism in this country. You know, we have 800 miles of public beaches here in California, and mostly rich white people living next to those public beaches. Why is that? Did poor folks didn't want to live next to our public beaches? Is that what the case was? No. It's because the rich people pushed all the poor people out into the desert. And when you push all the poor people out, you're going to push out a lot of people of color, because we haven't reached any kind of equity yet in this country. So when you push the poor people out and you push all the poor people into one area that is underfunded, that where the schools are underfunded and the services are underfunded and everything, it's just much harder for poor people in those poor areas, because they don't have the things like right here in Santa Monica. How many places in the world do you think there are places like this Santa Monica public promenade? And let me remind everybody, this is a public promenade. This belongs to all of us. This is not the Grove. This is not Disneyland. This public promenade doesn't belong to these business owners here. It belongs to all of us, and we need to keep using this public promenade. Get out here and peacefully protest. Share your thoughts. Share your beliefs. Share your talents. Now, if you're selling something, that's a different story. But if you're just out here sharing your beliefs and sharing your talents, sharing your thoughts, you can get right out here, and I hope more people do. I hope when the FIFA Cup comes here, we see a lot of poor people out on this public promenade, using our public promenade, even though they lock up the chairs at night so homeless people can't have a place to sit. That's right. They don't want to see any poor people being comfortable. They just want those chairs for the tourists and the rich people. That's right. All the chairs get locked up at nights because they don't want to see poor people being comfortable on our promenade. You know, they take that as progress when we don't see as many homeless people on our public promenade. They say that's good because they only want to see rich people with money on this public promenade. But we need to keep reminding them, this is a public promenade. This belongs to all of us. And we need to keep letting them know. See the people living in the street, ain't got no money, ain't much to eat. They're not too proud to take your crust of bread. Just look for some place to lay their weary heads. What's the problem that brought them here? The story's long and it isn't very clear. So many roads lead to the street. Just look for some place to lay their tired feet. That's right, they're just looking for some place to lay their tired feet. And we could help them. We could make sure that we have enough shelter beds here in Santa Monica. You look at all these empty buildings here on this public promenade and all around Santa Monica. There's no reason for poor people to be sleeping in the streets tonight. Everybody could have a decent place to live here in Santa Monica and here in California. It's just a problem of greed. just plain greed. And we need to change that. We need to start making it more easy for human beings to have a decent place to live. Too many people just want to make it harder for the homeless. They just want to push them down there. Just keep making it harder and harder for the homeless until they don't come to Santa Monica anymore. Till they don't try to access their public beaches anymore. That's what they want to do. But we have to say, no, these public beaches belong to all of us. And this public promenade belongs to all of us. And we need to make these things more accessible for human beings right here in California. This isn't a city just about making money. This city of Santa Monica has to do its job by helping stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. And we need to keep reminding them, what's the problem that brought them here? The story's long and it isn't very clear. So many roads lead to the street, just looking for some place to lay their tired feet. And we could help them. We could make sure that everybody has a decent place to live here in this richest, most powerful country in the world, in this fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, California. In this very wealthy city of Santa Monica, we can do better. We got plenty of places to put people, for people to have a decent place to live. It's just a problem with greed. Greed! All these homeless people living in a ditch with all these empty buildings and tax cuts for the rich. I ain't saying you have to give, but everybody has got a right to live, and they're just looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. You can sweep them out your doorway, tear down their tents. Gonna keep on coming if you keep on raising rents. I ain't saying you have to do good, but why don't you try letting homeless people move in to your neighborhood, Santa Monica? Looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. That's right. You know, tonight here in Santa Monica, they have more shelter spaces for animals than they do human beings. Probably just about the same amount. And they're trying to get rid of the shelter beds for human beings and move them to another city, a poorer city. That's right. They would rather shelter animals than human beings. They would rather make it easier for animals to live than for human beings to live. Hey, I like the cuddly little furry animals. That's great. Help them too. But you better help human beings first. That's what this country is all about. That's what the Constitution is all about. Is helping human beings thrive and survive in this richest, most powerful country in the world, in this fourth largest economy in the whole wide world, right here in California. We need to stand up for human rights. All these homeless people living in a ditch with all these empty buildings and tax cuts for the rich. I ain't saying you have to give, but everybody has got a right to live, and they're just looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. You can sweep them out your doorway, tear down their tents. Keep on coming if you keep on raising rents. I ain't saying you have to do good, but why don't you try letting homeless people move in to your neighborhood, Santa Monica? Looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. Don't need your swimming pool, don't need your king-size bed. Just looking for somewhere to lay their weary head. That's right. They're just looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads, and we could help them. We can make sure that everybody can have the basics in this richest, most powerful country in the world. And we don't need to stop until we get there. That's why we need to raise taxes on the rich. 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 The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. That's right. A lot of people say, well, Wade, they call me by name, Wade. They say, we can't raise taxes on the rich because Trump's in power. Well, we can here in California. We can do it. And there is a Billionaire Tax Act on the ballot this fall. And we need everybody. We need everybody running for every state government seat. We need them all to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. And if they don't, we need to not put them in office. We need to get them out if they get in. We need everybody to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. How's it going? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it the no sitting, no lying law? Is that the deal? Yeah. See, that's right. Hey, we need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. They harass people for sleeping on the ground while they lock up the chairs. See, they lock up these chairs over here, and then they harass people for sitting on the curb and the sidewalk. And that's a terrible thing. And we need to keep speaking out against it because they harass. I know they're doing their job. I understand this. That's what this city tells these security guards to do. Because they have a no sitting, no lying law here in Santa Monica. And it's terrible. It's a terrible abuse of human rights. They lock up the chairs.
They lock up the picnic tables.
Go ahead.
Every place we can sit, they lock it up. Where's the one supposed to sit?
Uh-huh.
You know?
And then security guards come by, and then the police will come by and give people a citation. They will give people a citation for sitting and lying on the public street because they lock up all the chairs. And people gotta speak out against such human rights abuses. I mean, this is a public promenade, and we need to keep reminding these business owners and our leaders here in Santa Monica, you got to change this stuff because you're just harassing poor people for being poor and homeless people for being homeless, while you are creating the problem by not building enough affordable housing here in Santa Monica, by not having enough shelter beds here in Santa Monica. So we have to keep speaking out. And that's why I am running for Santa Monica City Council again this year, because none of these people in the Santa Monica government want to speak up for human rights here in Santa Monica. They believe it's okay to pick on people that are poor and homeless. They believe it's okay to arrest somebody for sleeping while being poor. That's right. They're sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's what they arrest people for here in Santa Monica. You don't have to do anything more. You're just sleeping outdoor while being poor, sleeping outdoor while being poor. And it's a real shame. And some people say, well, we have to criminalize homelessness because that's the only way to end homelessness. No, you build affordable housing. You have safe spaces for homeless people to sleep and to live until we have enough affordable housing. You build enough shelter beds. Make sure you have enough shelter beds until we have enough affordable housing here in Santa Monica and around California. That's why I will continue to speak out against our governor, Governor Newsom. He he signed a friend of the court brief in Grants Pass versus Johnson. He said, please give me the power to criminalize homelessness in California because I need to clean up our streets. Instead of building affordable housing, we gave him $24 billion to build affordable housing. Where's the housing? Where did the $24 billion go to? Where's the housing? And instead, he would rather criminalize homelessness than poverty. And we got to keep speaking out against that kind of stuff. We got to speak out for the right of homeless people to have a decent place to sleep. And until they do have a decent place, a shelter bed or a place to live, we need to make sure they have safe spaces in these cities, in Santa Monica and Venice, wherever. Because we're right next to our public beaches, 800 miles of public beaches, and mostly rich white people living next to those public beaches. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. Anyway, I know you guys are doing your job, but I'm going to keep speaking out against that kind of this no sitting, no lying law that they are so happy to enforce here in Santa Monica. Oh, I'm so happy. Our former mayor, Lana Negrete, she said, I'm so happy that we're enforcing the no sitting, no lying law here in Santa Monica. They're just making life harder for homeless people, and she's happy about that. While they're taking away shelter beds and making it harder for human beings to survive. We need to keep speaking up, keep getting involved. What? I hope you do. I believe there is a meeting. I believe there is a meeting this Tuesday. You can go in the public comment at the top of the meeting and speak out, and I will be there. I will be announcing my. That's right. I am with you 100%. If they can't do any better than just criminalizing poverty, then they need to get out and do something else. Go back into business and try to treat poor people like they don't belong. But our government leaders need to stand up for the rights of human beings, especially those who are in need. They are here to serve us. We are not here to serve our leaders. Exactly. And we need to speak out for human rights every day. That's right, Dorian. Can I give you this? How are you? Getting by? Things are going okay?
Yeah, the dictatorship.
A dictatorship.
That's what I thought I was hearing.
Well, see, they started harassing people for sitting on the sidewalk here. You know, the no sitting, no lying law here in Santa Monica. While they lock up the chairs, they harass people for sitting on the curb. You know, and that's cruel and inhumane. That's the same way as they're as arresting people for sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. That's what they said, what are you in jail for? I said, sleeping outdoor while being poor. Sleeping outdoor while being poor. Anyway, you have a great night. Good to see you, Dorian. I hope things go peaceful for you. We got to keep speaking out, everybody. I know a lot of people say, well, homeless people are dirty and they don't smell good. So what? A lot of rich people are dirty and they don't smell good either. We need to stand up for human rights. It doesn't matter what kind of clothes they're wearing or what kind of cologne they're wearing. Every human being has the same rights here in the United States of America, and we need to keep standing up for those rights, especially for the poor and the homeless, because they are underrepresented. You don't see too many lobbyists getting together to stand up for the rights of the poor and the homeless. We need more of our people standing up for the rights of everybody to have a decent place to live, food to eat, health care, and good public education. Because we're arresting the poor for being poor and the homeless for being homeless. I know it's not easy to stand up for poor people, but you got to. Because when you're standing up for the rights of somebody that you think, oh, well, they didn't work hard enough. When you're standing up for the rights of somebody that you think should try harder, when you're standing up for the rights of somebody who has less, you're standing up for the rights of everybody. That's right, and we all need to stand up for everybody's human rights right here in Santa Monica and around California and around the whole US of A. But you know, Santa Monica, we need to show that progressive government can make a difference in people's lives. We need to show that progressive government can help lift people out of poverty. And we need to make sure that we are standing up for the rights of every human being, especially those who are in need. Because we've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy here in the United States of America. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. Well, I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather sit around in my underwear than screw the poor and pollute the air. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather live outside in the open air than try to keep sick people from getting health care. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you cry. Oh, mama, rich or poor, we're all gonna die. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you sad. Oh, mama, but being poor just ain't that bad. No, it ain't. It ain't a crime. Not yet. They're trying to make it a crime, though. Well, they've actually made it a crime. Yeah, I made it a crime to be poor and homeless. And we need to speak out against that. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. I'd rather live in a box in the bottom of a ditch. There'd be some stealing, cheating, lies on bitch. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. I'd rather walk around without a stitch than be some whoremongering son of a bitch. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. Let's try that again. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. I'd rather walk around without a stitch than be some democracy overthrowing son of a bitch. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you sad. Oh, mama, but being poor just ain't that bad. No, it ain't. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you cry. Oh, mama, rich or poor, we're all going to say goodbye someday. Hopefully not tonight. Let's put it off a little while if we can help it. You know, I don't want you to think that I think all billionaires are evil, all right? I don't hate billionaires. I don't hate Elon Musk. Yeah. Let me try that again. I don't hate Elon Musk. But, you know, what I think we need to do is, like our Constitution says, when it's needed, we have to raise taxes on those rich people. And right now, if we're having space races, rich people having space races while poor people sleep in the streets, it's time to raise taxes on the rich people. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. That's right. We got to all get behind that. Because What we need to do is raise that tax, that 5% wealth tax on all the billionaires in California, and that'll be a good start. You know, some of the politicians here in California said, "Oh, we can't raise taxes on the billionaires. All the billionaires will leave California." And I said, bye. If you're a billionaire and you're in California and you don't think poor people should be able to have a decent place to live, hey, go take advantage of people in Texas. We don't need you here in California. If you're a billionaire here in California and you don't think poor children should have a great quality education system here in California, then go to Texas and take advantage of those poor people over there. We don't need you here in California. If you're a billionaire in California and you don't think that poor people should have good quality health care, go ahead, move to Florida. We don't need you here in California. So we need to make sure that we tell these people. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. So while the rest of the country is saying, well, we can't raise taxes on the rich because Trump's in power, we can do it right here in California, and we need to do it. We need to make sure that we raise taxes on the billionaires here in California and make life better for all the poor people here in California. That's right. Oh, I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather sit around in my underwear than screw the poor and pollute the air. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather live outside in the open air than try to keep sick people from getting health care. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. Get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. We can do it. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. We can make a difference, California. We can show that progressive government can work and can help lift people out of poverty. We still have an election in November, and we need to tell everybody running for office right now, get behind that Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, or we're not going to vote for you. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. That's right. Because I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather live outside in the open air than try to keep sick people from getting health care. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather walk around with greasy hair than sell guns and weapons everywhere. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you sad. Oh, mama, but being poor just ain't that bad. No, it ain't. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you cry. Oh, mama, rich or poor, we're all going to say goodbye someday. Hopefully not tonight. Thank you. I'll be sharing that with the homeless. Thank you. Peace. You have a great night. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather walk around in the bear than see homeless people everywhere. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. And I'll keep working on it. And by the way, I'm running for Santa Monica City Council here in 2026. That's right. Sometimes it flows out just right, and sometimes it gets caught up a little bit. But we got to keep speaking out, keep standing up, keep telling our leaders, listen, you got to do a better job. You can't criminalize poverty and think that's going to fix everything. We need to make sure that everybody can have equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity. And we got to keep working towards it because we haven't gotten there yet. And when you push all the poor people down the road, you're going to push a lot of people of color down the road. And that's why we need to keep integrating. We need to keep integrating cities like Santa Monica that are 70% white. And we need to keep standing up for human rights. The rights of poor people to be able to, hey, I just want to end my days sitting by somewhere near the beach. I don't need much. I'd be fine sleeping in my car if they didn't make you move all the time. There's a lot of people who'd be fine living in their RVs if there were some more RV parks here in Southern California where people could survive without being thrown out. We can do better things. We just got to keep working on it. You having a good night, Frederick? Not done yet? Well, thank you for what you do and keep doing it. And we'll keep working towards a better day. Keep speaking out for equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. And raising taxes on the rich. And making sure that poor people can have a decent place to live, food to eat, and health care. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. That's right. God, I have to remember to enjoy this whole process. I have to remember to enjoy standing up for human rights. And I have to remember to enjoy running for Santa Monica City Council here. And being able to speak up for human rights, even though sometimes I have to grit my teeth because people don't want to give you the right to speak. Sometimes I have to keep myself from getting too angry and just kind of enjoy the process. You know what I mean, Jerry? You know what I mean, Tiffany? That's right. We got to keep enjoying the whole process. You got a haircut, looking sharp there, guy. Today, while the blossom still clings to the vine, hey, Jesse, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. I'll be a rambler and I'll be a rover. You'll know who I am by the song that I sing. I'll feast at your table and sleep in your clover. I'll laugh and I'll cry and I'll sing. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. That's right. We got to don't get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, of a week, of a month, of a year. Our struggle is the struggle of a lifetime. Never be afraid to make some noise, to get in some good trouble, some necessary trouble, and keep enjoying it. I won't be contented with yesterday's glories. I can't live on promises. Winter to spring. Now is the moment, and this is my story. Here's what tomorrow may bring. Today, while the blossom still clings to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. And I hope you all enjoy the process. Get involved. You young people need to get involved and peacefully protest. No violence. Keep speaking out. Keep standing up. Keep getting involved. Do sit-ins. Do walkouts. Do boycotts. Run for office. I'd like to see more young people just getting out there and running for office. You're not going to win the first time, maybe. But maybe you can get enough people to hear you standing up for human rights and help make a positive change. You know, I didn't run for office until I was, 64 years old? And I got a few thousand votes. But maybe this time I'm going to get a few thousand more. Maybe I can help make some positive change and stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. Don't give up. Keep moving forward. I won't be contented with yesterday's glories. I can't live on promises. Get this straight. Now is the moment, and this is my story. Who cares what tomorrow may bring? Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. Today. That's right, gotta enjoy the ride. Gotta enjoy the ride because, you know, it's gonna take time for positive change, even here in California. Well, especially here in California. I hope we can get some leader. I hope we can get some young leaders to repeal Prop 13. That would be a great move in the right direction. You know, Prop 13 was put in place in 1978, 79, right after I graduated high school. I left California in about 77, 76. And after Prop 13, they took a lot of money out of education here in California, and they made it easier for rich people to hold on to property and harder for poor people to get any property. And they took a lot of money out of the education system with that Prop 13. And we still haven't had a progressive Democratic leader who could help us overturn that Prop 13 yet. And that's what people like Becerra and other leaders in this state, that's what, instead of Governor Newsom getting with the ultra-conservative Supreme Court and asking them to help him criminalize homelessness here in California, he should have been building affordable housing and overturning Prop 13. We should have had a leader like that. But we're going to have to move forward. Keep pushing forward. Keep pushing all your representatives, all of your public servants. Keep pushing them forward to stand up for human rights. Because, as we move further and further into this technological age, we're going to have to stand up for the rights of human beings because they're not going to have a lot of jobs. More and more of the jobs are going to be going to robots and artificial intelligence. And we need to tell our leaders to make sure that human beings can have the basics. Last night, I told the artificial intelligence, the Google Gemini, I was trying to get information about this Santa Monica Democratic Club that I'm doing this questionnaire for, because I'm running for Santa Monica City Council. Did I mention it? Anyway, the artificial intelligence said to me, well, I understand your frustration. I said, no, you're a machine. You don't understand human frustration. You don't understand human emotions. Don't try to tell people that your artificial intelligence understands human frustrations, human emotions. You are a machine. You act on numbers. You act on numbers and programs. Don't try to relate to human beings' suffering or emotions or joy. You don't know anything about it. They want to make these machines seem like they are in some way human, but they're not. And we need to keep reminding our kids and our people with mental disabilities that these machines are not their friends. They may be able to help us get more information, but I hope we make sure that the artificial intelligence help human beings live easier, better lives. We got rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how the reason all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how the reason all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on our rich people and rich people's toys. On our rich people and rich people's toys. That's right. All over this country tonight, we have warehouses and warehouses and buildings filled with robots and artificial intelligentsia of all sorts. And they are having all their needs taken care of. They're making sure that they get all the energy they need. They make sure that all of their circuits are working just right. They're making sure that they're cleaned up and they don't have too much dust or dirt on them. They're making sure that they live in a very comfortable climate. All of their rooms are nice machine temperature living temperatures. They're making sure that those robots and those machines have everything they need. And we have poor people, human beings, sleeping in the streets. We're creating more and more energy for these machines to live full lives and do the jobs they were given and make sure that they have everything they need. And human beings are sleeping in the streets. We need to tell our leaders, our public servants, you need to do a better job of taking care of these human beings instead of these rich people's toys. All of these autonomous cars, all of these little robots on wheels, cute little robots on wheels. They're so cute. We have poor people that are out of work. And because they're out of work, people say they don't count. They shouldn't have anything. They don't have any rights. We need to change the way people think about human beings. We Got the rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on our rich people and rich people's toys. Rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on our rich people and rich people's toys. On our rich people and rich people's toys. On our rich people and rich people's toys. Thank you very much. My name is Wade. How you doing? All right. What's your name? Ezekiel. Ezekiel, do you have any information for me tonight? Oh, okay, good. Good to see you, Ezekiel. My name's Wade. I'm running for Santa Monica City Council this year in 2026. How you doing? Good to see you. That's right. That's right. I'm running for Santa Monica City Council to stand up for human rights because they're criminalizing poverty and homelessness here in Santa Monica. And we need to tell them no. That's not the way to end this housing crisis, this homelessness crisis, by criminalizing poverty, by arresting people for sleeping outdoors when they're poor. You know, and that's what they're doing right now. How's it going? Peace. Huh? You can say hi? Yes. Say hi, Ezekiel. And anything you want to say to the people?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Ezekiel.
How's it going?
What's your name?
Wait for this guy.
Yanis?
Yeah.
Yanis. Nice to meet you, Yanis. You say peace and love, or what? Anyway, we got.
Peace and love.
Thank you. We're standing up for human rights, and that's why I'm running for Santa Monica City Council, because this city council that they have now in Santa Monica has done a worse job than the last one about standing up for human rights. And I didn't think that was possible, because I thought Phil Brock was about as authoritarian as they were going to get here in Santa Monica. But this city council, although they may have ideas about how to make things better in the future, they're certainly not doing it now. If you're criminalizing poverty and homelessness, you're moving in the wrong direction. I don't think you need to be a Harvard graduate to figure that one out. If you're putting people in jail because they're sleeping in public because they don't have any place to live, and you're getting rid of shelter beds here in Santa Monica, they're closing down the Sam O'Shell shelter. I don't know. Do you know about Santa Monica? Yeah. They have a shelter. We don't have any shelter beds available for homeless people tonight here in Santa Monica. And they want to close down a shelter that has 60 beds because there's a criminal element around there. Instead of trying to clean up the criminal element, they want to lease shelter beds in the city of Bell, a city 15 miles away or something like that is more densely populated, a lower income, more racially diverse. They just want to ship poor people out to another city. And that's what they've been doing. And that's why we have to keep speaking out against such inhumanity, such cruelty. Because, we got to keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity, because we haven't gotten there yet. These motorcycle gangs, man. Anyway, thank you, Ezekiel. Thank you. We need to keep talking about it. Right now, they're harassing people for sleeping on the sidewalks and then they lock up these chairs, you see. They lock up the chairs at night so homeless people can't sit on them. And then they want to harass people for sleeping on or sitting on the curbs. And I mean, I've been out here for 10 years and seeing what's been happening. And this is a public promenade, right?
Yes, sir.
Not too many public promenades like this. Now, of course, if this wasn't a public promenade, they wouldn't be letting me speak out here and stand up for human rights. If this was the Grove, they could just say, no, you can't be here. But I can and I've had to go to court for it, as a matter of fact, because I stopped getting the performers permits here in Santa Monica during the pandemic. Because during the pandemic, they told all the performers with permits, you can't perform anymore because you're spreading virus, while they were expanding all of the restaurants' uses of the promenade, and more people were out in the street with the restaurants and the bars and everything. I don't know. I guess my virus was a little different than their whatever science they were trying to do. It was crazy, and so I had to fight against that.
What do you think it's so easy to turn a blind eye to these problems? Everybody just walks past.
People are afraid that just like the same reason that so many of these leaders don't want to raise taxes on the rich here, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. If we raise taxes on the billionaires, they'll all leave California. That's right. That's what they say. And I'm saying, well, if they're the kind of billionaires who don't want poor people to have the basics in life, they need to leave California. We need to get them out. Let them go to Florida or Texas, take advantage of those poor people there. But people are afraid of poor people. They see themselves, that could be me. I don't like that. I don't. We need to stand up for the rights of these people going through these, because we know that most everybody here in Southern California is spending too much on rent, on places to live. They're spending too large a part of their income on housing. And I'm homeless myself, but I got some friends, and I dance through life. I have some friends that I can stay with, but I'm on Social Security. I'm 66 years old. I'm an old man, but on a low income. But there's a lot of people, the seniors are the largest growing demographic of the homeless population in this state. And we haven't been achieving any goals. I mean, it's not getting better. Governor Newsom says, well, we've reduced the unsheltered homeless by 9%. That's because you're putting them in jail. Newsom, you're putting the poor people and the homeless people in jail. So that's how you're reducing the unsheltered homeless population. They're putting them in these programs that they may or may not need, and many of them are ending up in jail. And we know that it's much more costly to put homeless people in jail or incarcerate people than it is to find housing for people. It's about $130,000 per year to incarcerate somebody here in California. And I think most of us could find a decent place to live for $130,000 a year, don't you? And they'd be doing some of the same things that they're doing on the streets that they're being arrested for smoking a little of this or a little of that. If they were doing it in their apartment, nobody would mind. But how much does it cost to live? How much do you have to pay? How much should you have to earn to live for one more day? How much does it cost to live before your life has worth? And tell me, how hard should you have to struggle to survive in the richest, most powerful country on the face of the earth? How much does the rich man want? How much does he have to keep? before he can say it's okay for poor people to sleep? How much do the greedy want for poor folks to eat? And tell me, when will we see the end of the day when human beings have to sleep in the streets? How much, how much, how much? That's right. How much does it cost to live? How much should it cost for every person just to be able to live another day in this country? Should everybody have to generate a certain amount of money for them just to survive? Is a person's only value the amount of currency they can generate? Is that right? I don't think so. I think that everybody has an innate human value, and that we need to make sure that we tell everybody, hey, you're not just worth the amount of money you can generate. You're a human being. You have value. You have rights. Everybody should have the basic rights in this richest, most powerful country in the world. How much does it cost to live? How much do you have to pay? How much should you have to earn to live for one more day? How much does it cost to live before your life has worth? And tell me, how hard should you have to struggle to survive? How hard should you have to struggle to survive in the richest, most powerful, most abundant country on the face of the earth? How much does the rich man want? How much does he have to keep before he can say it's okay for poor people to sleep? How much do the greedy want for poor folks to eat? And tell me, when will we see the end of the day? When will we see the end of the day when human beings have to sleep in the streets? How much, how much, how much, how much, how much, how much? Thank you, Ezekiel. And if you see somebody around, if you see the police run, you'll know you can't smoke on the ground, but you understand that. But and they if you're rich, I'm not saying you're poor. I'm not saying you're a billionaire. But if you are a billionaire, you can smoke wherever you want on this promenade. That's another thing too. Here on this promenade, they want people to they wanted to have a party atmosphere. So if you buy a drink at one of these bars, you can walk down the street with your drink here. But if you got a drink over on one of the other streets and you take a little sip out of it and they see you have an open container over in the park or somewhere else around town, they'll give you a citation, or they will arrest people for that. The poor people, they'll arrest the poor people, but not the rich people here in Santa Monica. And it's just not the way it should go. So we keep working towards a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. Keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. We have to keep integrating our society, because when you push all the poor people out, you push out a lot of people of color. And that's how we have segregation here. That's why next to our public beaches, 800 miles of public beaches, mostly rich white people living next to those public beaches, because you pushed all the poor people out. And we gotta change that direction. We gotta keep working towards integration. We have to keep, too many people say don't talk about race. Well, I'm sorry, that's part of the problem. And we know that. we haven't reached a place where everybody has equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity. So let's keep working at it. Let's keep lifting the poor young people in poor neighborhoods out of poverty and making sure that we spend more money on education and make sure that we're spending less money on incarceration. Spend more money on education. Spend less money on incarceration. Spend more money on education. Spend less money on incarceration. And let's keep standing up for the rights of those who have been used for their labor but have not been given their rights here in the United States. We have about 20 million people living in the shadows in this country, and they've been used for their labor but not given their rights because of quotas, because of country quotas, and because we need a comprehensive immigration bill that gives these people a pathway to citizenship. Canta y no llores. Thank you, Ezekiel. Peace. I'll be sharing that with the homeless. Thank you. Good to meet you. Bless you. And thank you. You can check me out on YouTube, Wade Kelley, Kelley. And get in touch with me. Let me know how you're getting involved and moving forward. Where are you at? Where do you live? Palms? Oh, great. Right down the road. Okay. And things are going well? You studying or what? Making music. What kind?
Kind of like indie rock.
Wonderful. Keep making the music. That's beautiful. And keep speaking out and standing up for human rights.
I needed this.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel.
You inspired me tonight.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. You too. Spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. Spend more money on education, spend less money on incarceration. Para bamba, se necesito un poco de gracia. Un poco de gracia para mi partida, arriba, arriba. Arriba, arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Bamba, 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 bamba. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. That's right. Keep peacefully protesting and standing up for the rights of these people who have been used for their labor for generations and not been given their rights. That's peacefully protest. You young hotheads, don't get out there and try to fight the authorities. Peacefully protest, have sit-ins, have boycotts. Use your voices and your votes, but no violence. No, anybody who says violence is the only way to make positive change in this country, you're wrong. That's not the way to make positive change in the United States of America. Learn from the civil rights movement. Those people suffered a lot and they peacefully protested. They practiced peacefully protesting and made great positive change in this country. And we need to keep moving forward because we haven't gotten there yet. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, silito lindo, los corazones. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Para bailar la bamba, se necesita un poco de gracia. Una poco di grazia per mi partire arriva, arriva. Arriva, arriva, portisere, portisere, portisere. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure the land is made for you and me. Hi. Cantando yares, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. This land was made for you and me. Let's make sure this land was made for you and me. Let's work to make sure this land is made for you and me. Well, you got anything you want to say there, Joey Cisneros?
What?
You have anything you want to say before we shut down?
Yeah, just never give up and keep it going.
I like it. Never give up and keep on going.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Joey Cisneros. Well, let's keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all, housing the homeless, common sense gun laws, good public education for every child, and good quality health care for everybody. Stand up against racism and hatred whenever you see it, whenever you hear it. Keep getting involved in peacefully protesting. Stand up against violence and hatred whenever you see it, whenever you hear it. There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue. If I can dream about a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, tell me why, why can't my dream come true? There must be peace and understanding somewhere. Strong winds of promise that blow away all the doubt and fear. If I can dream of a warmer sun, where hope shines down on everyone, tell me why, why won't that sun appear? We're lost in a cloud with too much rain. We're trapped in a world that's troubled with pain. But as long as a man has the strength to dream, he can redeem his soul and fly. Deep in my heart, there's a trembling question. Still, I am sure that the answer's gonna come somehow. Out there in the dark, there's a beckoning candle. And while I can think, while I can talk, while I can stand, while I can walk, while I can dream, feeling my dream come true, my dream come true. Right now. My name is Wade Kelley, and I'm running for Santa Monica City Council to stand up for human rights, peace, and love.